Welcome back, chums. Nice to see you. You all right? I'm all right, thank you. In this baskingly, gloriously wonderful United Kingdom warm weather. But of course, we're told to do things. Are you like that? Yes, you're told, aren't you? Make sure you take some water if you're on the tube. No, make sure you sit down if you feel unwell. I thought about doing the can. I just love the way that they tell you all these ridiculous statements, and then you're supposed to be kind of, oh, thank you for telling me. I know it might seem as kindness, but for those of us with common sense, and I would say that's virtually, well, all of us here on this channel, you just know if you don't feel well, sit down. The bigger thing is trying to find a seat that hasn't been vandalised, or if you're in a store anywhere to sit down because they don't want to be welcoming, do they? You know what I mean? The same might be said of this particular story with Meghan Markle. You see, she's having a very tough time, and Harry's wallet needs to open now even wider. As ever, let me explain. Hi, nice to see you. We'll have a lovely wave. Thank you so much for your time today. Prince Harry, whatever you think about him, he's certainly spent some money on his wife, Meghan Markle, because, as I've told you many times before, she came to the marriage with virtually nothing. This 5 million in the bank, absolute claptrap. The woman married rich, and that's the thing. There was no standing, no power, no recognition. She tried everything to get noticed. And of course, the only way to do that is if you marry rich. We see this time and time again. I love these people. Years later, I remember working with one particular person who was married to a rugby player, and she kept this particular person's name, suddenly developed a TV career, but she loathed the man apparently, couldn't stop doing interviews about him, but kept the name, because apparently that's the way she was known. How about making your own name? Well, of course, Meghan Markle can't decide what name she wants to use. Sussex, HRH, whatever. You just never know what she wants to be. This time around, though, she's looking at absolutely catastrophic disaster, because the order book, whatever people say for as ever, Meghan Markle jams, paste, whatever she's making, is relatively empty. After initial start of, people buying it and wanting to rip it open online and all that sort of stuff, it literally has gone down to a dribble. And the podcast, the female founders thing, utter disaster. I mean, whichever way you look at it, dropped out of the Spotify and Apple top 10. Now, that means something. I'm honest with you, chums. That means something in the podcast world, because it's a bit like our charts, what we remember years ago. If you're out the charts, then that's it. People have completely lost interest. So guess what? Harry, as I say, has to snap open the wallet once again, because an ex-assistant of Bill Gates, Sarah Fosmos, I think is her name, Fosmos, yes. And the thing is, well, bottom line is, she's apparently going to be rescuing Meghan's company as a new title of Chief of Staff. Now, they do love giving out these titles, don't they, over at Archwell, Chief Impact or whatever they are. Everybody has to have a title, make them feel secure. But of course, when Meghan brings somebody in, and this is where it gets interesting, having spoken to many ex-staff members, you're the flavour of the month. Oh, you get invited into the inner sanctum, maybe even to have some of that clever coffee with Meghan. Do we believe she drinks that? But the thing is, what I find interesting is this particular person literally is going to be the saviour, going to put, female founders on the map, going to rescue as ever ahead of the second series. Sarah, as I said, not a high cheese for Bill Gates, but nonetheless still has that attachment. According to a well-placed source, Sarah landed the job by apparently writing, as ever allegedly, to Meghan to outline her business plan of what she would do should she be put in charge as a chief of staff to resurrect Meghan's empire, which of course she's going to become a billionaire from. I think we can all guess exactly what that plan was. Harry, bring your checkbook and you charge it, because that's the only way you can get anything going. And when you think about it also, just put this into context, right? You've had an ad in the middle of Times Square, up and down. Everybody knows this thing exists. Clearly the audience have said, not quite for us. And seemingly now that is the problem once again for Meghan. But can Sarah rescue Meghan from oblivion? Or will once again the revolving door of Archwell Communications find somebody else spinning through it at the rate of knots? As ever, it's a developing story. When I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.